Alright, how's it going, guys? I got the air conditioner pump in. I got the new starter on. The starter on this tractor was actually a really good starter, but well, she's been sitting here, so unfortunately it's sitting there, it's not doing me anything. And so when you have them moments, you steal something off something to get something going. So the starter that was on this tractor is on the 4430 now, so yeah, so that's why I got a new starter on there, so no big deal. And the remanufactured bracket, I know some of you guys, like to modify. Not to pull you out of the crowd or anything, but you know what, Ed? Sometimes your ideas ain't always, the best. But I'm not saying your ideas are not, but this guy's ideas wasn't. So don't take it too hard, Ed. I'm sorry. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, Ed Goslin, Ed Goslin Farm. He's got a YouTube channel. He's a jack of all trades and master of, I guess, some. But me and him had a little talking about in the comment section of modifying things. But the talk of it is this nut here, I don't have it tight on the bracket. You can't, well, I can get you in here to see it. There's a little bit of a gap there, but this belt here is, she's past fiddle string tight. So I don't like that, but hopefully it doesn't take the bearings out. If it would have been the original bracket, it would have worked just fine, because this is a brand new belt, and look at all that travel we don't need. So whatever. So sorry, Ed, try not to knock you down too much, but sometimes modifying is not the honest way to do it. So I'll put a link down below for you, Ed. That way, them guys, if you guys want to check it out, go down below and click on that little arrow right below the screen on your right hand side if you're watching your cell phone. I don't know how it is on there. But anyways, this intro is getting too long, but I'll bring you back and tell you some more. Let the 44 warm up. Okay, hope you like the video. See, I got some fixing to do, so. Oh well, always something. Alright. Oh. I got the new seal in. Now, I should have looked in the book a little harder, but I didn't. I figured, well, this looked in here and figured this seal must go out through that side. Well, if I would have looked at it a little harder, no. So I started tapping on this seal from the inside. Figured I was going to drive it out, but that was the wrong idea. This bolt here, you take this bolt out. If I looked in the book, I have a book, yes, but I didn't. Takes this cover off here, and that opens up. This is basically your oil pump housing, and it gets driven out through the back side. You just take your oil pump apart. It's just a gear in there, an offset gear. But if you can see from tapping, trying to get this bearing out, I messed up this bushing. So now I'm ready to go back together, ready to put it in, and I screwed up this bushing. So my bad. Learning experience. What's it gonna do? Cost me time and money. So yep, running out of storage again. Anyways, gotta order that, so it's gonna be a few days before I get that. But then we'll throw the clutch pack back in. So alright, that was my stupid mistake. Live and learn. Got a book, read it. Or you just do the way I do it and make mistakes and it costs you money. So what do you do? It's just a bushing, so it shouldn't be that much. So, but I don't like how it looks. She's boogered up a little bit, so I'm not gonna have that inside there. And also, something starts coming apart and starts throwing parts around and getting into the clutch and making more of a disaster than what a guy really does. And you just spend maybe $10 and put a new bushing in. So, all right, that's that. Well, I figured I'd bring you guys along for one of my daily dilemmas. I don't know. Here, I'll shut the light off. I'll bring it right back. Oh yeah, now you can see it. All right, what you're looking at is one of the control boards for the milking system. It's this board here. I'm trying to explain it right. See, guys. All right, this is your pipeline. This is where the milk is collected. It runs down and around and comes around and back down. And that's what, I'm going to shut this thing down, is I'll get demonetized. Anyways, this is what they call a receiver jar. Alright. Receiver jar receives the milk coming in. So what this does is the pipeline, the milk, there's vacuum in these lines here. That's vacuum. This is non-vacuum. That's your filter. Trying to explain it the best I can. But anyways, this here is your filter. That's what pumps it to your ball tank for storage. Anyways, this is a receiver jar, and there's a sensor in here. It's like a float, so you can see it's at the bottom, and when it floats and it goes to the top of where that snap ring is, and then it sends a signal. There's a micro switch inside here. It sends a signal all the way up to the milk hose and tells that pump, which is called a receiver jar motor, and it sends the milk to the ball tank. Anyways, I've been having a little bit of trouble with this lately. Not too much, but anybody that milks cows understands when you have receiver jar trouble, you have trouble. So anyways, the trouble I've been having is the pump won't stop running. It'll run. It's supposed to fill up, empty it, just past the micro switch. I'll give you an example here. And it's supposed to shut off after a few seconds, like it just did. Okay, it's working right. But the thing is, it's done it now 2 nights or this morning's milking, tonight's milking in a row. I called the repair guy, and I told him what was going on, and I explained everything to him as best as I could, and I told him there's something going wrong. I think it's a micro switch. I'm not sure even if it is a micro switch, but he's like, okay, yep, I'll come check it out and micro switch in, blah, blah, this and that. So I told him that, what was going on. And he replaced that fuse. Okay, there's a fuse right there. I'm sorry, I can turn the light on yet. He said, oh, that fuse is bad. I said, oh, okay, you sure that's all it was? He's like, yep, it's just a fuse. I'm like, So tonight it happened again. The motor wouldn't shut off at the end of milking. As you can see, there's a little amber of light in there. That light is not supposed to be on. The only time that light is supposed to be on is when it calls to empty the receiver jar. So there's some stray voltage, or the micro switch is going bad, or whatever. So now I'll pull this wire off. Oh, the light went out. And then, if I can see, if I can show you. See the arc. You can't see the arc, but you can see there's something not right. That's what I miss about my old friend that used to fix on this thing. He would dig a little deeper. He would look into it. He would check if there was amperage there. He'd check if there was something else wrong. It's not just a fuse. That's what I get really upset about, is you call people, service guys, to come fix things, and then they're like, yeah, well, it's just a fuse. No, it's not. So, I'm going to tell him tomorrow when I call him back again, I ain't paying for his service route here, and I ain't paying for that fuse because he did not fix the problem. I'm pretty sure there's a few of you that run into these problems before, but I figured I'd just share that with you, and this has gone on too long, and just another daily dilemma. Alright, well, I didn't make any video of replacing the micro switch, but next night here, after the last night I made the video or whatever, okay, I called the service guy back again. Just got done with washing, that's why it's running. And I called him in the morning, earlier in the morning, and he didn't answer. I left a message and I told him blah blah blah, this and that, what was going on, and he come while I was out in the freestyle barn cleaning, and Casey was milking, and he assumed that we would be done milking. Because I told him in our message in the voicemail that we were not be done milking until a such and certain time. So he come around about 8:45 and walked in here and kind of was upset because we weren't done milking yet, and he was going to replace that micro switch. It's not a big deal. It's just 2 wires. You pull this. It's on a wire, like a tube, and you just pull it out. You just cut the wires off and put it back together. Anyways, he kind of threw it at Casey and said, well, Shane can fix it. Fine, whatever, it's not a big deal. Just got to solder the wires back together, and I put a shrink tube on it or whatever, and got it fixed. And it seemed to be working fine, but the problem is I still don't quite understand, which I'll explain to you a little bit here too. It's going to take too long doing this. As you guys can still see that amber light. Well, later on in the afternoon, I come home, it was about 4:30, and there's a group of them guys that work together. Well, one of them comes, he's actually my neighbor. He showed up, and he come to install it, the micro switch. I see he came, so I come in the barn here, and then he's coming up the steps, and he looks at me and says, Shane, do you replace the micro switch? I says, well, yeah, he threw it at Casey and told me I should replace it. And he's like, oh, okay. Well, he told me I had to come and fix it. I says, well, that's fine. I says, but here's the question I have. And I showed him that amber light. And the wire I pull off here is a neutral wire. If you follow it back, it goes back in the box, and it's actually grounded. I know you can't see it that well, but it's grounded right back there. That's the neutral wire. This is your hot wire, this is neutral wire. And I showed him, I says, that's got power. He's like, oh, yeah. I says, no. I said, look at it. And he looks at it, and he's like, oh, that don't make no sense. I'm like, well, yeah. If he pulls it off, I'm pulling 2 amps. 2 amps are coming off, are going through here. So I don't know if it's a malfunction in the solenoid that pulls this contact points together, which engages the motor down in a receiver jar motor. He couldn't explain to me, and he was baffled too, but he goes, well, if it works, it works. I says, well, is it gonna cause more issues or not? And he's like, yeah, I have no idea. He's like, I don't know why there's even 2 amps going through there. He's like, maybe it's the board. I'm like, well, there shouldn't be no power going through there if it's a neutral wire. So that's that. So yeah, but it's working now after I put the new micro switch in. So, and tonight's milking was quite a dilemma. I was gonna video some of it, but I didn't. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good because Kelsey started milking. We had a cow fall in the parlor. She didn't get hurt, but she was a real pain in the rear end. It happens. It's happened more than once. But the trick is, the only way you get them out here is you put a halter on them, and then you pull them out the door, out of the milk house. So we had her just about out. Me and Kelsey was just gonna do it. Me and Kelsey, and Casey was doing her thing, and Tyler, well, what Tyler was doing, he should have been doing what he was doing. He should have been helping his sister. But anyways, she got about her snout to this part of the door, and the halter snapped. I was lightly pulling her out the door with a skid loader because Kelsey was pretty reluctant to go up steps. Luckily, Kelsey didn't get hurt because she fell back, and then she like hit the receiver jar, and luckily didn't bust anything, but tore off the part of the pipeline, the joints and stuff. It just kind of just pulled them off as she fell on them, and then I got really upset because things were getting damaged. Anyways, we got the whole family involved, and got a new halter and retied the rope on her, and we got the cow out, and she's not harmed in any way, and she got out and put her back in the barn, and actually the pipeline's fixed, but this plastic part here is where you switch your plugs. One plug's for milking, one plug's for washing. This is your milking plug, and this is your washing plug. That's supposed to just hold back the wash water so it fills the pipeline and cleans it completely. But there's hairline fracture cracks in that from the cow banging into it. So yeah, it was quite the fiasco tonight. So but anyways, the receiver jar is working. The joys of farming. Alright, well, maybe we're all set up and just about ready to go for milking for the morning. So I'll bring it back when there's something else here comes around tomorrow. So yeah, something to see, but I wasn't gonna video it because I wasn't in the mood. Yeah, it's slow progress. But I'm getting somewhere slowly on this. In between this and that and everything else. We had a little bit of a rain day today, so I worked on it for a little while here. A little bit this afternoon, and a little bit tonight after chores. So air cleaner's on, ether injector's on, radiator hoses are on, all new radiator hoses. It's always the constant checking and back checking and making sure you tighten this and did that, and because you're not continuously focusing on it, so sometimes you backtrack a few steps and then go forward again. So yeah, I don't know, I'm still debating. I might get a different turbo yet or not, but a new turbo is $1,500, so I don't know. Some of you guys in comments saying I'm crazy for leaving that one go. I may or may not do it. I don't know. I say let her rip, and the wife tells me get a new one. So it's like, well, that's $1,400 I can use to buy hay this winter. So we'll see. Once it seems to be not too bad. She's in her position. As long as it ain't gonna move anywhere anymore, so shouldn't drop down and grind on the housing of the exhaust manifolds or the exhaust side. But yeah, slowly but surely. So we're pretty close here. I ain't too far away of sliding it back together, but I'm waiting on parts, so I'm waiting for that bushing. I put it on parts order, so I didn't have to buy or pay for shipping. Call me a tight ass, whatever. But it should be here. If it ain't here tomorrow, it'll be here, I don't know, Tuesday. So yeah, just gotta put this bracket up to the hydraulic hose line bracket up there. I need a hose clamp there. But otherwise, I'm basically done until I run it and reset the, or at least check all the valves. I did put the bag or I was breather valve or hose on valve, and I'm just gonna run it for about a minute and then shut it off, then pull the valve cover back off when I get that far, and then a minute or two. I ain't probably gonna time it, but not at first. When we get that far, then we'll break her in and send her off. So out the door she came in, drug in, and drive out on our own power. So gotta put that cooler back in. I gotta find a bracket. I got one bracket here. It's like I said, I didn't take it apart, so it takes longer to find where stuff was set. So usually when you take it apart, you remember where you put stuff, well, even if it's been a while. But whatever, I'm getting it. So yeah, the M is in waiting too. Somewhat of me and somewhat of my old man. He took the radiator and had it checked out for Tyler and made sure it was not going to leak and everything. And then I been looking around for one of them rivet smashers. I don't know what the hell you call them. Tools. There's these mounts here. They're little rubber mounts that actually hold the radiator. Kind of give it a cushion. And they're sent with rivets, steel rivets. We used to have one for sickle sections back in the day. I actually used it, but ours disappeared, and well, I think it got thrown after the shop fire. And so yeah, we'll get that in. Maybe I should try to fire it up once for you guys. It's got a gas in it, I don't know. I can smell gas, but we'll give it a try once here. Starter's little. I missed the timing here the other day with Tyler. He was so upset. Might be out of gas too. Full choke. Yeah. Well, at least you got enough gas. Anyways, he was all upset. I was outside fixing on something, and he comes in and comes outside and he's like, does nothing but run wide open. I chuckled and looked at him and says, well, I ain't got the timing set right. So I come back in here and fiddle farted around with it. Got it to purr pretty good. Well, you guys will be able to see it. I'll bring it back for that. So, but we let her run for about a minute or so, and about took me to get her by ear fine tuned, and she seems to be ticking pretty good. So, yeah, the entire this project. So not much of this video is a few dilemmas in the barn. I never bring you guys along much in what happens in the barn, so if it wasn't for you, you know, it is what it is. So yeah, alright, it's gone on long enough. Thanks for watching, guys, and catch you on the next one. We'll be chopping corn here pretty soon. That'll be non-stop videos then, so pretty sure everybody's getting kind of sick of hands, so little changes are different here. We're probably about 2 weeks out yet for chopping corn, but like I said, I got a friend of mine that's going to have some corn ready here probably before that, so we'll be getting set up and for corn chopping and be switching back and forth from hay to corn and back and forth. And yeah, so fun. Alright, see you on the next one.